Hello and welcome to the Generation Gap Podcast. I'm Lunchbox.
I'm Gleek.
And
Got some bad news this week.
Yet again, our second episode already in which a very famous, influential wrestler has passed away.
Yeah, Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
I was reading that they found him dead. He'd died of a heart attack in his sleep or something.
Yeah. It's quite a common thing, though, for wrestlers to die of heart attacks, especially ones that have that sort of schedule where they go nonstop, as well as all of the hard. They live pretty much a hard life.
Oh yeah,
especially guys from the '80s that come up with pretty much the sex, drugs, and rock and roll attitude.
Well, he was doing it since mid '70s. I think we started when he was 15-year-old.
Yeah, he was. I'm not sure if it was mid '70s or not. A little bit earlier.
Yeah. Well, he started when he was young
in Canada.
Yeah.
He actually ran away from home.
Mm-hmm.
He then kind of joined up with another wrestler who I can't think of off the top of my head, and was in their thing. I think he was also in Stampede Wrestling, which is what Stu Hart, Bret Hart's father, started up there in Canada around Winnipeg. Until eventually, I think he was in WCW first.
Mm-hmm.
So the Georgia Championship Wrestling shit before getting recruited by Vince McMahon shortly before WrestleMania and going to Madison Square Garden. That's kind of just a quick little rundown of.
Well, you definitely know the history.
I'm balls deep in the history of wrestling.
Yeah, yeah. So some of the shit you're able to just pull out of your fucking head just blows me away.
Have I ever showed you any of the old Royal Rumbles and shit?
Yeah, you showed me all kinds of old shit.
Well, I was watching it. I was watching some of the old Royal Rumbles before. I think the one that happened back in 2011 with Sick Nasty, and I was going through and I was like, "Oh yeah, there's that guy from this, and there's that guy from this." He had a feud with this guy, and he was looking at me. Even he's a huge wrestling fan, and he was like, "Where the fuck are you pulling this shit out from?" It's just decades of knowledge all crunched down into...
Some dudes know baseball, some know football, some guys can tell you the history of hockey.
Yeah.
You just happen to know fucking wrestling.
But my first thing that I kind of want to talk about Piper about is... I think if anyone has listened to any of these where I've gotten off into a wrestling rant, my favorite wrestler is CM Punk. I mean,
Yeah, you've got all kinds of shit.
Two fucking action figures just of him right here.
T-shirts and all kinds of shit.
T-shirts, fucking everything. I've been watching Punk, I think, since 2005.
Yeah.
And
that makes you how old?
2005, I was 13.
Yeah.
And so 10 years.
Yeah. And so with Piper, I remember I was watching him when I was fucking young, fucking 7, 8-year-old. And
yeah. Coming out in a bag pipe and kilt. But
yeah. Back whenever the only way I could see him is whenever you got lucky and you could watch cable wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he wasn't in the Memphis circuit.
No, he was in Georgia at that time.
Yeah.
But Punk was talking about on his DVD that WWE made, how he always wanted to be a bad guy growing up.
Yeah. And
the bad guy that he saw on TV was Roddy Piper.
Oh yeah.
Coming out, he was like everyone was pissed off at that guy in the kilt. He was like, he could wear a kilt, he had bagpipes playing, and he was the baddest motherfucker in the room.
Oh, he was definitely my favorite heel.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, he was my favorite bad guy.
And he goes and he tells a story about the first time he met him. And the first time he met him, he actually Punk wasn't with the WWE at this point. And Punk and Roddy both are, I think, kind of those people that don't like to be approached, very rudely. But it was in a Gold's Gym, and that's a place where Punk hates to be approached the most at.
Oh,
it's in the gym.
That's his me time, think about it. He's concentrating on... I'm sure these guys, dude, that's part of their fucking schedule.
Yeah, it's their focus time.
Yeah, it's when he can he turn his brain off, just do something physical,
But he approached Rowdy while he was on a treadmill at Gold's Gym. It was like, "Hello, Mr. Piper. My name is," either he introduced himself as Punk or Phil Brooks, and he was like, "Thank you for inspiring me to become a professional wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing he said, he was like, the first thing I ever saw of you was bashing the coconut over Jimmy Snuka's head.
Oh, God, I love that shit.
It's so great.
I'm not a wrestling fan, but I have to admit, dude, that's some entertaining television
It
right
is.
there.
It is like the classic Roddy Piper imagery.
Exactly.
Of like, oh, what do you think of when you think of Roddy Piper? You don't think of...
I think bubblegum and coconuts.
Yeah. You don't think of him going against Hulk Hogan in 2007 on WCW. You don't think about his commentary career.
No.
No. You think about him bashing a coconut over fucking Jimmy Superfly Snuka's head.
Yeah.
And causing him to go through the thing in Piper's Pit.
Exactly. That, like I said, that and standing in a bank with a shotgun.
And I don't think I've ever been able to show you this moment, but I've got to get like all my DVDs from my parents' house and bring over here because I have a DVD called like Oh My God, the top 50 most outrageous moments to ever happen in wrestling history, where it's the only place I've seen it. I can't find it online anywhere. Of before his fight with Mr. T at WrestleMania 1, Roddy Piper and Cowboy Bob Orton grab the Havana Kid, which is this little black midget.
Okay.
And they pull him in the back, and like he's actually struggling. He doesn't want this shit to happen.
Yeah.
Cowboy Bob Orton, they're bullying a midget, okay? Cowboy Bob Orton is holding the Havana Kid so he can't move his arms and legs, and Roddy Piper takes a pair of clippers and shaves his head into a mohawk.
I think you showed that to me.
They bully a midget and shave his head into a mohawk.
Wow.
The things you could get away with in the 80s in wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah, good luck with that shit now.
Oh yeah, good luck with that, like, without having it be, like, heavily scripted, because, like, these two guys are just, like, I think they went up to Vince beforehand and were like, can we shave that midget's head? And then Vince was like, yeah, go ahead, make it happen. And then they went ahead and just grabbed him up out of there and just shaved that.
Turn that
midget.
hair into money.
Then at SummerSlam. 1993, or was it 4? I don't remember. We're gonna lead up to this big event that we have every year, where it's the elimination tag match. It's a 10-man tag match, okay? And we're gonna lead up to it for 2 months, and we're gonna have this mysterious egg, okay? And SummerSlam is always our fall pay-per-view, our big fall pay-per-view. And at SummerSlam, we're gonna have Eddie Guerrero's uncle pop out of it in a turkey costume, and he's going to wrestle in part of the match. I can't make this shit up.
I remember that shit.
I cannot make this shit up.
Dude, the only thing I could think, when you were showing me that clip, you showed me, part of that clip one time.
Yeah.
And I don't know why all I could think of was fucking Mork from Ork. I kept expecting to see, like, Robin Williams come jumping out of the damn thing.
2 months for a horrible child gimmick. 2 months.
That I guess it made him money.
No, it didn't.
It didn't.
It didn't make him any fucking money. People were just like, the fuck is this egg thing?
I mean, the build-up. Think about it. The 2 months of build-up made him some money.
All right. At the time, you had... It was either in the very early 90s or in the late 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you had, around the same time, Jake the Snake Roberts coming out and doing, like, his promos. Where... there was one where all he did was move his mouth. He didn't actually say anything, with like Mean Gene Okerlund holding up the microphone.
Yeah.
And he goes, he leans into the microphone. The only way that he could have done and be like, did you see what I just did? I made your father get up. Or made you get up. And turn up the volume. I am in complete control of everything that you do. And I didn't have to say a fucking word. That was Jake the Snake. But...
Oh, yeah. Which, if you ever get a chance, you need to listen to that interview that Piper did with Roberts.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. Like I said, I'm not a wrestling fan, but you will laugh your ass off for them 2 episodes.
Oh, yeah. He does, Jake the Snake Roberts does a great podcast, too, with Colt Cabana.
Yeah. Well, his story, where he's telling the story about fucking giving the dog the damn X-Lax and the hot dogs, is the funniest fucking thing you've ever heard in your life. And the whole routine, he does that, and he talks about the time that him and Macho Man was getting ready to do the snake thing.
Oh yeah, with Miss Elizabeth after him
Yeah.
and Miss Elizabeth got married. Yeah.
Yeah, and that fucking Macho Man like was freaking the fuck out in the locker room.
Randy Savage hated snakes.
Yeah.
Like this.
He made like Roberts like fucking get bit by the snake to prove that it wasn't going to kill him.
Yeah.
And he like it bites him, and he's like, "How you feeling, man?" You know, and he was like making him sit there for like 20, 30 minutes to see if he starts twitching, foaming, you know.
Yeah, fucking Randy Savage was probably more afraid of that snake than Miss Elizabeth was.
Yeah.
All right. Now they had during that storyline they had that snake bite Savage in the ring, which that like threw the censors in a fucking uproar because like there were so many parents calling in and shit and be like, are you killing Macho Man? What's happening here? So like they got a whole bunch of shit from that. All right.
Which is why they did it. There's no bad press.
Yeah, there's no bad press, and this is before that. Before WWE was a private, or not a privately, but a publicly traded company, so they could get away with a whole lot more stupid shit during this time because they didn't have to worry about shareholders. But this is the funny part of that story. I don't think they go into in that one. A week or two later. They had this whole taped vignette thing that was showing Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth's wedding reception afterward, and they put a fake snake in one of the gifts. I think Macho Man knew, and Jake Roberts knew. Miss Elizabeth didn't know, and I don't think anyone else in that fucking reception knew. Not the cameraman.
Yeah.
Nothing. So Miss Elizabeth opens this package with a fake snake on a string. She instantly throws the box, so you see like snake ass flying around everywhere and into the floor. She is damn near having a conniption, like from seeing this shit in a box. And Jake Roberts comes out with an actual snake.
Yeah.
So
of course he did.
Oh yeah, but it just threw the entire fucking little reception thing in an uproar, which was fucking great.
Oh yeah, man. Like I said, some of the interviews, I've listened to several interviews, like a podcast that Piper did.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm willing to say, dude, he one of the most interesting podcasters I've heard.
Yeah.
And I think it's bugged me. It's really bugged me with his death. I don't like what happened to his fucking podcast. I really do think that he was kind of cheated out of that whole fucking thing. I mean, where he was on podcast 1.
Yeah.
And he did this fucking routine. He got this comedian to come in and do this big fucking, Steve Austin fucking imitation, which that podcast is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Right?
I've listened to quite a bit of it.
You did?
The whole thing, yeah.
And, well, supposedly Austin had thrown a fit, and I've heard some shit like where Austin's come back on it, where he pretty much claims I didn't have nothing to do with it, and it just sounds like self-serving shit.
I haven't listened to any of Austin's retorts about that, so I'm not going to really say either way about like what side I agree with, because like Rowdy he has had a habit, whether it has been his own fault or what, and it's pretty much like there are two sides to every story.
Yeah.
With this.
Yeah.
And there are several reasons why Vince kind of like shoved Rowdy off to the side, or Rowdy will tell the exact same story and he was like, I fucking quit. And it's just how he's always been.
Well, he said in his when he got they quit podcast 1, he said, fuck it, I'm going to take Piper's Pit and I'm going to do my own podcast. He put it on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And start doing his own thing. And he just straight up comes out and he's like, dude, I'm a heel. I've always been a fucking heel.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be a joke.
Yeah, but it's...
And I just wonder, though, when I first saw that Piper had died, I have to admit, dude, I'd opened up Twitter for, Picklestick's account, and I saw fucking Steve Austin's thing saying, I'm sorry that he's dead and all this. I'm like, holy shit. At first I thought it was like, are they really fucking bringing heat for a fucking podcast? I thought that's what they were doing. And I opened it up, got to look at all the responses. You would not believe the number of fucking people that were blaming Austin, saying, you give him that fucking heart attack. And you put stress on him and
that's so wrong.
Broke his fucking heart.
That's so wrong for them to kind of shove all that blame off on Austin.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that one bit, but yet again, that's like crazy internet shit.
Yeah. Well, you see why when I first read it, though, I was thinking like, damn.
Yeah.
This is, for a podcast, they're doing some hellacious heat.
Yeah.
I thought they were building up to something.
If they were actually building like storyline shit through podcasts, I don't think Rowdy's death would have been the way to go. Simply because right before Chris Benoit died, and I'm glad we're not sponsored by any WWE affiliate.
Well,
but you're just saying Chris Benoit. I'll explain that here in a sec.
Yeah.
but right before Chris Benoit died, they did the storyline with Vince McMahon where he went out to his limousine and it was starting to pull away and it blows up. And everyone was like, holy shit, Vince McMahon's dead. And it was just kind of a way for him to kind of step back permanently into a behind the scenes role. And so he didn't have to ever be on television again. He was kind of tired of like being at tapings and such. Yeah. Or getting his ass kicked in the middle of the ring. So they did that. Chris Benoit then murders his wife, child, and himself.
Yeah.
After Eddie Guerrero's death, which that kind of happens like in between these two things. Eddie died. Vince McMahon fake death.
But wasn't there there's that whole question of did he actually do it? And
yeah, there's some shit that I've listened to audio tapes and stuff of, but you had this event happening, and it was like 2 or 3 weeks later that Chris Benoit had killed himself after the whole Vince McMahon debacle, and Vince McMahon came out, and then people were like, "What the fuck?" Because they had to cut the storyline right then, because they were like, "This is some fucked up shit," and WWE did not know the terms of his death at that time. Yeah, and they had a taping that night, and so like there's an entire episode that the WWE has been trying to bury of like superstars on television, and Punk is one of them. Fucking crying and talking about like their Chris Benoit stories and shit.
I have no problem with that.
Oh yeah,
and in fact, to me, what a better way to celebrate the guy. You go on the show that made him big, and you just straight up get the people tell their fucking opinions.
And then the details come out, and the WWE. I do not agree with the way the WWE has done this. I don't give a fuck. I know they have to have shareholders and they have to promote like this new family image and stuff, but you're able with your product to separate the actual person from
the product.
Yeah. From, when he's Chris Benoit, the guy, he killed his wife and son. When he's Chris Benoit, the product, he was like the ultimate underdog, world heavyweight champion at the time, the guy that worked for fucking 25 years and was never given a chance until, he was 42. His body at that point was fucking mostly broken. So many concussions you can't fucking name. Wrestled everything from Japan to WCW and just all of it in between. Finally, winning the championship against the two biggest stars at the time, Shawn Michaels and Triple H, only to lose it then 6 months later to like this up and coming young star as kind of a very big passing of the torch. Then kills wife and kids. Yeah. They block him out. Like they make him a big black square. Yeah. In wrestling tapes. I'm glad I owned WrestleMania 21 before all this shit happened, because like it was one of the most emotional moments I've ever seen on a wrestling event, where Eddie Guerrero had done like the exact same shit that Benoit had, but he won it from Brock Lesnar, and then he got to keep the title from Kurt Angle, who is like this huge fucking star. He was an Olympic athlete. Yeah, won 2 gold medals at the '96 Olympics, and then Eddie Guerrero, even though he was champion, was the fucking underdog. And that is so hard to do. Like, it's just a culmination of things that have fucking happened. And you had this great event that happens. the 20th WrestleMania in Madison Square Garden. The fucking air is electric.
Yeah.
Okay, you're just watching. Like, I can sit back and watch this entire DVD now.
Yeah.
Like, I know like all the spots and shit because I watched it so many times when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
This happens right before the match where Chris Benoit wins his title.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have the two biggest matches right in a fucking row.
Mm-hmm.
And then after Chris Benoit like wins the title, they're dropping like the confetti and shit. Eddie Guerrero, who has been wrestling with him through fucking Japan and a lot of other fucking shit. They used to have like a match every single night. Him, Chris Benoit, or Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, and Dean Malenko were like the three horsemen. Like when it came through coming up and shit.
Yeah.
Those two met in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie's fucking crying. Benoit's fucking crying. These two guys that have known each other for most of half their life at this point in this business give each other a giant hug and like, here it is, you know, the two fucking underdogs won this event. And you're going to completely take that away from these new fans that have never seen this shit coming up.
Yeah.
That just get to see, oh, look, John Cena wins.
Mm-hmm. Why would you... Fuck, man. You can't control what somebody does.
Exactly.
You know? You know, think about it. Isn't it also... I mean, I know you're not a fan of the guy at all. But this latest Hulk Hogan bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm getting at, who gives a fuck what the guy said? It's his personal opinion. Who gives a shit? But you don't overlook what the fuck he did in the past.
It was his personal opinion in the middle of a sex tape that was stolen.
Yeah.
All right. First off.
Yeah. And during obviously what is obviously a very personal, very emotional moment.
Yeah. I mean,
you know,
like,
involving his daughter.
They should not have turned that to the eyes of the public.
Yeah.
Like,
well, think about it. We live in the time of the 24-hour news cycle.
We do, but you know there are certain things that I think should not have ever been released.
No,
like because that's a personal case that he's going through with that to try to get that the sue TMZ. Mm-hmm. I don't agree with fucking hardly anything TMZ does. Mm-hmm. You fucking drive people insane by taking pictures of them all the time.
Yeah, like
these people are already mentally unstable as it is with like their hard ass work schedule. Like. Like, God, who was that actor that played the Joker in the Dark Knight movies?
Ledger?
Yeah, Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
You know, he was damn near echo chambering himself in his hotel room all day long because he did not want to have to deal with the paparazzi.
Yeah.
And so, like, he ends up dying from, an overdose of pills. But yet again, he had that stress of that movie.
Yeah.
He had that stress of the character. And you had the stress of being like, oh yeah, we're going to fucking take pictures of him and either Mary-Kate or Ashley Olsen all the time. Click, 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 click.
Yeah.
No wonder fucking people go goddamn crazy and throw like umbrellas and chairs and shit at you guys.
Exactly.
But you should not have aired someone's dirty fucking laundry like that. Like they did with Hogan. Mm-hmm. And yes, he is a piece of shit.
Oh yeah, fuck him. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? As a guy, fuck him.
Yeah.
But you don't... You don't cut him out of everything. I'm
not gonna slam the take your vitamins, drink your milk, and say your prayers Hulk Hogan, because like 80s Hulk Hogan, like as much as I don't like to watch his matches, he works with like legends. Like those are the matches that made those guys household names as well because Hulk Hogan was already this household name.
Yeah, I mean he was one of the linchpins of the whole system.
He was the reason why that wrestling got popular in the first place.
Exactly.
Like you had...
Isn't it the whole thing when you think about it? It's almost like I said, I mentioned it to you one time. It's like Pete Rose getting kicked out. You never let into the Hall of Fame for baseball. Yeah, the guy gambled. He did dirty, but you should still acknowledge what he did in the past.
Yeah. Like, all right. That's exactly the same shit. Mm-hmm. That is exactly the same fucking shit. Like... Mm-hmm. Hulk Hogan didn't have the longest title reign. Mm-hmm. Didn't have the most amount of title reigns.
But he put asses in the seats.
He put asses in the seats. Mm-hmm. He made kids be glued to the television every single week.
Yep.
And he was able to try and pass the torch a couple of times when they wanted him to. Once to Ultimate Warrior. Mm-hmm. But Ultimate Warrior dropped the ball on his own terms. And then he was able to pass the torch kind of... with the NWO. Mm-hmm. And then with The Rock at WrestleMania 19. Mm-hmm. Fucking knowledge.
Yeah, I know it. I'm watching shit fly out your ears like fucking rockets here, man.
But Hulk Hogan was pretty much like a virtual unknown in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He did get to work with Vince McMahon and shit just because he had that look.
Mm-hmm.
What made wrestling was Rocky 3.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Rocky 3 or was it Rocky 4?
With
With Thunder Lips. Hulk Hogan's character.
I want to say
it's
3.
Rocky.
I was thinking it was 3.
Because 3 is the one where Mick dies at the beginning.
Okay.
Because of the statue unveiling. 4 is after Rocky's retired.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, it is 4.
4 is Drago and all that. Yeah.
But it was a toss-up in between Hulk Hogan and superstar Billy Graham.
Okay.
And the producers, I think it was the producers, it was either the producers and Vince McMahon was like, Hogan has the better look, if it was him coming up. And so, like, you have the most popular movie. I don't give a fuck what Rocky fans say. Mm-hmm. I am a Rocky fan as well. 4 was the best movie. Go fuck yourself.
Well, yes and no. Yes and no.
4 had the most, like, tearjerker, goddamn, I feel moments.
Yeah. I mean, they're all good, dude.
Yeah.
The first,
they're all good.
4 movies are the best ones.
But you have someone, a young Hulk Hogan, I think he was in his mid to late 20s at this time, on a big screen, and you're like, who the fuck is this? And it's like, oh yeah, that's that wrestler Hulk Hogan. I seen him at, Madison Square Garden, and all of a sudden it explodes. Yeah. Then you have MTV getting in Jody Lauper right before WrestleMania 1.
Want to talk about Cyndi Lauper?
Cyndi Lauper, not Jody Lauper. Who the fuck?
I don't know which fuck. You're smoking crack.
I don't even know. But you have Cyndi Lauper coming in. You have Roddy Piper taking a gold record, like a fake gold record from her, and bashing it over Mr. T's head. And there's a ton of Piper moments where he just bashed shit over people's heads,
including his own head.
Yeah, including that actual beer bottle down in Georgia Championship Wrestling that he cracks over his own head, and he says to the camera, "You want to think wrestling's fake? You want to think wrestling's fucking fake?" And then bam, started bleeding. The cameraman doesn't know. I don't think the fucking cameraman or the interviewer or his tag team partner knew what the fuck was going on.
Dude, I think half the time Piper didn't even know what the fuck he was going to do.
No. Because he was that explosive a character, and that is what made him entertaining.
Oh, dude, when I was a kid, like I said, he was my favorite heel. When I got to watch, like, cable wrestling, the fucking shit out of Atlanta and all that, I used to enjoy him. Yeah. I mean, I watched it just for the bad guy. And, my favorite wrestler of all time was always fucking Lawler. Yeah. He was my favorite hero.
Lawler, when he played a heel, I showed you that shit when he played a heel in ECW. Dude, he's a great heel too. Yeah, like that's what I like about a lot of these old guys. Is you don't get quite a bit with the newer generation of wrestlers. Is they can be a great good guy and they can be a great bad guy. Yeah, like even Hulk Hogan, who was like this fucking very squeaky clean image all throughout the 80s. In the 90s, he was Hollywood Hogan. Yeah, he was this seedy, cheating bastard.
So he just basically played himself.
Yeah.
He was like, fuck acting, I'm just going to be more like myself.
Brother.
But one of the best, I think the best ever uses of a wrestler in a movie was that Spider-Man movie.
Oh, with Macho Man?
Yes.
Yes.
That was fucking awesome, dude. I mean, it fit the fucking Spider-Man mythos. Yeah. Of how his first appearance as Spider-Man was in the ring. And
I was glad they used Macho Man in that moment, because at that time Macho Man was still wrestling. Yeah. He was still very active, and here's this known name. Yeah. In a Spider-Man film.
Yeah, even in the Spider-Man comic, it was supposed to be like their local hero who was a badass. Yeah. Would take on anybody.
God damn. I need to show you some Macho Man's matches when he's playing the heel instead of being the good guy. Like, I'm sorry, a lot of people might disagree with me, and they think that his best feud is either with Hogan or with Jake the Snake. Mm-hmm. My favorite is when he's the Macho King after he wins the King in the Ring tournament. Mm-hmm. And it was I think right after that was the interview that he had with Mean Gene Okerlund, where I think they used to do a lot of cocaine. Like,
no. I'm
no.
sure there wasn't a drop, not a drop found in them locker rooms.
But I've heard so many stories about Macho Man Randy Savage doing cocaine, right? And then going and doing an interview with Mean Gene. So, Macho Man, in his infinite wisdom, went to, I think, to the break room before he went to the sound stage or whatever they had, and put a whole bunch of the little plastic coffee creamer things in his pockets.
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that interview.
He goes up to Mean Gene and he's like, "Ooh yeah, you can separate everyone but the Macho Man. The Macho Man will rise to the top." And he pulls out coffee creamer. He's like, "The Macho Man Randy Savage, ooh, yeah, here's the cream of the crop." And he sits there and he takes his coffee creamer and he puts it in the Mean Gene Okerlund's jacket pocket, like on his suit jacket. And he pulls out another one, continues to talk like that shit, puts it into another pocket of Mean Gene's. Mean Gene, this little short balding man who's got quite an alcohol problem, and you know he's vulgar as shit whenever he's off that mic, and he's like, he was known as like the guy with the dirtiest mouth in like the entire studios, and here's like this fucking clean cut guy, but he's holding up this microphone for Macho, the entire time, and he's having coffee creamers stuck into different pockets in his jacket. You cannot write this shit.
No.
You can't write it. And the guy behind the camera, Vince McMahon's like, yeah, let's go ahead and put this out. This is gonna make us millions.
Cocaine wrote that fucking
cocaine. Dude, I miss the days of the unscripted like interviews like that. Cause like you watch them now and you're like, fuck, you know, you can tell that a writer's been all over most of the time.
Yeah. Until
you get to the glorious year for wrestling, which is 2011, 2012. The era of Punk, I shall say. When he pretty much tells Triple H that Stephanie McMahon, his wife, who is Vince McMahon's daughter, has had his balls kept in her purse, made various references to them being in bed and Triple H telling Stephanie who he doesn't like and who he doesn't think is going to make it and shit. Just basically actually airing, you know, wrestling's underbelly, saying what the fuck he wants to and being able to get away with it because they're like, because Vince realizes like he's the hottest thing they have going right now. He's out selling t-shirts better than John Cena. They can't fucking stop him.
This man could jump on the table and take a big old shit, and we can't physically stop the camera because it'd be too good of a fucking clip.
Yeah, that was taking the shit in front of the camera was what's called the. I hate that they use this phrase all the time, and they overuse it now because like everyone does a pipe bomb now. But it's where, in a Stone Cold Steve Austin t-shirt. CM Punk gets to the top of the stairs after causing John Cena to lose his match. And this is right before that Money in the Bank match I showed you. That was in Chicago, where everyone cheered Punk and they had like the big sign that said, "If Punk loses, we riot."
Yeah.
They would have fucking rioted. If Punk would have lost that night, they would have fucking rioted. There is no doubt in my mind. I wish I could see an alternate universe of what happened if CM Punk did lose and watch Chicago burn bigger than, you know, a fucking cow kicking over a lantern.
Exactly, since O'Leary's fucking cow. Yeah.
I want to see that in the alternate universe. But Punk came out there, sat cross-legged at the like top of the ramp. And pretty much said like, this company will be better after Vince McMahon's dead. And he was like I hope this company is better after Vince McMahon's dead, but I know it won't be because it'll be ran by his dumbass daughter and his knucklehead son-in-law. Just fucking doing all this shit. And he talks for 10 minutes over like the allotted amount of time that they had.
Yeah.
Like USA like gave him a little bit of wiggle room, but not much. For him to be able to stop talking, like he was about to start talking shit about their anti-bullying campaign, and they were like, we have to cut it now. So they cut his mic. And then he was like, he didn't know they were going to cut the mic. Nobody in the back knew he was going to start talking like this. He was like, you want to know about bullying? Look at this anti-bull. cut off his fucking mic.
Mm-hmm.
He then drops it and starts yelling at the crowd, I've been silenced, as they're going off the air. Nobody knew this shit was going to happen.
Yeah.
Nobody. All right? This is I'm comparing this, Jake Roberts telling the story about the snake eating the bunny rabbit and like having, like fucking parents and shit called in and was like, our son is crying because they want to know what, please don't have him kill a rabbit on air and shit like that. And
so why don't you take the time to teach your kids about what actually happens in nature?
Learn about parables, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
But he goes back past what they call gorilla, where everyone kind of like watches the monitors and they get the switch in between,
mm-hmm.
the television things, and they tell the commentators what to say back in that room. It's a room named after Gorilla Monsoon.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's watching those monitors in Gorilla as Punk walks by and
mm-hmm.
he hears like some of the shit they said, and like he said, everyone had a blank stare in their face with their jaws dropped. They didn't even notice him walking by and behind them. They were like, holy fuck, we're all fired. We are all fired.
How the fuck are we going to explain this?
He was like, he's gone. He's fucking gone.
Dude, it must be great to actually be able to, think about it, to be such a fucking star in that way.
Yeah.
That you could just say what the fuck you want.
Away with anything.
Yeah.
Like, especially during this time period, because you have like the clean cut John Cena type where he's very easily marketable. He's, friendly with all the kids. He does all these mega wishes. At the same time, the entire year Punk was a good guy. Mm-hmm. He was doing the exact same amount of mega wishes. He was outselling, him in merchandise. Mm-hmm. He was just as much as a good guy, if not more so, than John Cena. But they don't promote it. They didn't promote Punk like they did Cena. They didn't tell you anything about his Make-A-Wish campaign. Because he was more of the adults anti-hero.
Gotcha.
But yet kids still wanted to see him too.
Well, it's kind of like we were talking about, with Piper. Wasn't he the anti-hero?
He was. To everyone that matters, the 18 to 35-year-old demographic that I'm just going to fucking throw out there, that buys the most merchandise and makes WWE the most money, they want to see more anti-heroes.
Yeah, everybody loves the bad guy.
Yes.
Dude, if they didn't, Vader would have never sold a single fucking figure ever. Think about it, Darth Vader would never have been fucking popular if people didn't like the bad guys.
No one would have ever bought,
You thought I was talking about the wrestler,
the wrestler who was another piece of shit. But no one would have bought the Jabba the Hutt. Why wouldn't you get, Zoran from the Power Rangers? Like every now and then, and this is what I like about professional wrestling the most, is that sometimes the bad guy wins.
Yeah.
You don't always, and this is like kind of the first thing that teaches you of that when you watch it as a kid.
Yeah.
Because, growing up, I watched Power Rangers, Thundercats, Ninja Turtles, and by the end of it, like, even though no matter how fucking hard, it seemed like the good guys were going to lose, they always pull it out at the end.
Yeah.
Wrestling was the thing that taught me that the good guys don't always win.
Yeah, well, it's like I learned it when I was a kid, watching, like I said, Lawler fight. He's the king of Memphis and the hero and all that. I don't even remember what guy it was. I just remember that he was managed by fucking Hart.
Yeah.
And I remember being a kid and just being shocked that the bad guy had won. It was this big thing that they had. God, dude, I had to be 7, 8, 9-year-old, somewhere up through there. And I remember being a kid and being shocked by that.
Wasn't Dutch Mantel a great addition into there every time they brought him up?
Yeah.
I love watching Dutch Mantel matches too.
Mm-hmm. And which, to this day, I want to see that match. I want to see it again. And I know it fucking happened. It had to be him.
Yeah.
Okay, it had to be Mantel. Because I remember a match between, like I said, a dude in a cowboy hat there in Memphis.
Yeah.
They had the ladder match way the hell up over the fucking ring. And I remember it was Bill Dundee and this fucking Texan. And they were trading licks with the goddamn bullwhip back and forth, back and forth. I want to see that fucking match again.
And see, you've been talking to me about this match for probably the entire time we've been hanging out.
It's stuck in my brain like you wouldn't believe.
And then one of the times you said it was this Texan with this cowboy hat, and then boom, I was like, Dutch Mantel?
Yeah.
A name that you haven't heard since the fucking 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy shit, that's who it was.
Yeah.
It was like, that had to be him.
Yeah.
And yet again, I think I have I believe there is an old librarian in my head.
It's Rain Man.
Well, no, it's not Rain Man.
10 minutes to wrestling.
10 minutes to Raw. 10 minutes to Raw. 9 minutes to Raw. But
you're keeping a log, writing all the wins and losses and shit in your little book.
I was thinking like it's an old librarian with like the super thick round glasses, and like it's got all these books in my head, and it's got like that rolling ladder, that goes side to side, and it's just him. He speed walks up the ladder, fucking throws it to one side, opens up a book and opens it, and it was like, oh yeah, it was this wrestler at this date and did this.
Yeah,
like. Thanks, brain. I could have used all this extra memory and space to actually help me do things that were useful, like school.
Yeah, where was you in high school?
Yeah, where was you in high school? And why do you know nothing but comic books, movies, wrestling, video games, etc.? World of Warcraft lore, War's backstory. Like, what the fucking shit? You looked up Typhoid Mary today, didn't learn a goddamn thing, only because you typed in Mary Mallon instead of Hail Mary Mallon, and then figured out that that's what they named their band off of.
Well, stupid shits like me, why do I know the fucking stroke length on a goddamn Putch fucking crank?
Well, because you
I've never owned a
You've
Putch
never
in my
owned
life.
Okay. I guess it would be like the guy like going back and like looking up. It's like the spacing for spark plugs on a 42 Chevy, and he never owned the 42 Chevy.
Exactly. This way I feel. I have that memory for like moped shit.
Yeah.
And it fucking shit kills me sometimes. Like, I've never owned that bike. Why do I even have this fucking knowledge? This serves me no fucking use.
But I've noticed something. I've noticed something about this immense wrestling knowledge. It has to be at least a year or two old for me to be able to do that.
Really?
Like, this new shit, I watched the latest pay-per-view that came out, or at least half of it so far, called Battleground. I even forgot that it came out. I watched half of it, did not know the card. I don't watch televised wrestling anymore. I think it's a fucking waste of time. If I want to catch on something real quick, I'll watch This Week in WWE and the WWE Network, or I'll just watch the pay-per-view. And I really don't watch it for storyline shit anymore because, like, my guy's gone.
Yeah.
I love Kevin Owens or Kevin Steen. I talked about him like the entire time he was coming up through ROH. I was like, he's gonna be the next big thing, but they're never gonna give him a fucking chance. And they give him a fucking chance, and I'm beating my meat to it every time I see him in the ring. And because he's beating the fuck out of John Cena, and I love whenever John Cena gets beat the fuck out of. So they're putting forward all this really good talent. Storylines don't make any goddamn sense.
Storylines have never made sense, dude. Honestly.
They did for a little while, and they had, like, people to push it in a certain way. And then, like, what they brought to the table was quite a bit to keep things going. But then you're like, well, storylines were never good in wrestling. I beg to differ. The entire time of the 90s, which you didn't watch.
No, not at all.
Because the Monday Night Wars, because WWE and WCW had, they had to compete with each other, and so that made wrestling good. Storylines were really good there. They were over the top and sexualized, because there was once where this wrestler named Val Venus, who was this porn star character. Yeah.
It's already heading down a bad road.
Well, Mr. Fuji, I think it was Mr. Fuji, had, like, there was this group of Japanese wrestlers. I think it was a guy that looked like Mr. Fuji. Anyway.
Is that the guys who used to show up with the fucking masks and shit?
No.
I remember some wrestling bullshit where the guys all had, like, kabuki masks or some bullshit once. I don't even remember what it's a random fucking memory in my head.
But Val Venus makes a remark at this. He's supposed to be like this Yakuza gang lord guy, and the other guys are supposed to be like Yakuza members that are wrestlers. Which it was a decent, kind of gig, and he makes a move at his wife, like right next to him while he's sitting there, ringside.
Mm-hmm.
Then he kind of got back at being jumped by all these Japanese wrestlers by sleeping with the Yakuza boss's wife. Okay?
Yeah.
This is where it gets good. Okay, this is where the story takes a weird turn.
Yeah.
The next week, they bring out a legitimate samurai sword and I think it was a summer sausage to the middle of the ring, and the dude cuts the summer sausage in half while pointing at Val Venus is at the top of the ramp. The next 2-3 weeks later, I can't remember how long the time span was. The big Valboski is what he wants to call himself. Gets beat shit out of him, and they take him off to the back. They have his back facing the camera, and the dude fucking makes a swing with that samurai sword. And they play it up like he lost his penis.
That's over the top.
Okay, get this.
That's somebody climbing in a fucking coffin and fucking a corpse over the top.
Oh, don't make me tell the Katie Vick story. But the very next week, Val Venus comes out with Lorena Bobbitt's husband. Yes.
You've got to be
legitimately
kidding me.
Comes out with Lorena Bobbitt's
Frankenweiner.
Old Frankenweiner.
Oh my god.
And he's holding an ice pack to his crotch. And he's got like a Yakuza boss wife next to him and everything. And then like they're like all the Asian dudes come out. It's like, I cut off your pee-pee. I cut off your pee-pee. Shit like that. And he was like, they make up then flashes the Yakuza boss, and he sees his penis, all right, or mock flashes or whatever.
Yeah.
This is when wrestling was rated M, by the way, or not rated M, but you know the MTV M or whatever, mature audiences.
Should be fucking rated WTF.
Yeah,
is what it ought to be rated.
But and he sees that he still had his penis, and the thing is the cold block they had it laying up on caused it to retract. And then the light shut off, and the guy with the samurai sword missed.
Oh, for Christ's sake!
Yeah, so you have a wrestling storyline in wrestling
about emasculation.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, in the 90s.
Oh God, I'm so glad I missed that.
Oh no, it was hilarious. It's still hilarious today.
I'm sure it is, but Jesus fuck,
like
man.
the fact that he got Lorena Bobbitt's husband in on it just makes it gold.
Which, yeah, if you ever want to see some comedy gold and at the same time be grossed the fuck out, watch the porno he's in.
Nightmares.
That's all I got to say about
the
that.
Fucking dude. That makes me think of the episode of Beavis and Butthead. We're gonna get stuck on a 90s kick here for a second. My favorite episode is when they're in shop class and they're like, "You ain't got wood, you ain't got wood," and they're like taking all this shit and then putting it through the bandsaw. And Beavis, in his infinite wisdom, touches it with his finger and cuts the tip of his finger off. And so, like, they go and they get it sewed back on, and he's sitting there in the nurse's office, and he has it bandaged, and he goes to pick his nose, and it comes off again in his nose. Every time I refer back to the mental image that is scarred in my head from Frankenweiner, I always think that is going to happen.
Like any minute it would just fall off.
Yeah, just break right off like that Beavis and Butthead scene, and like blood squirting everywhere. And dude, like, what the fuck? 90s. Oh yeah, they too. Okay, we're gonna get into the fucking more weird shit that has happened in wrestling. They had Hulk Hogan being kicked out for racist comments. Professional wrestling is still one of the most racist fucking industries that you can be in.
Like the fucking thing that McMahon did that time.
Or he said, "Hate my niggas."
Yeah.
To Booker T and his wife. That was all he said. It wasn't censored. He didn't say the hard R at the end of it.
Yeah.
That was it. That's all he fucking said. It was funny, and they're like, "Well, that's kind of racist." No, it's not. He was, white people say it to one another. Me and Ahmad, fucking, I call Ahmad it, Ahmad calls me it back.
Well,
shit.
The whole part of it too was the whole awkwardness of the situation.
Yeah.
That was the comedy of it. Yeah.
Right,
if he'd really been offended,
they've done worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you really been offended, that scene would never fucking happen. Because Booker, because he
would actually fucking like raised hell right there on camera.
Yeah, because Booker T would have been like, what are you doing? Like they would have. I think they talked about it beforehand. He was like, oh yeah, that's gonna be funny.
Yeah.
And
because you seen the way he walked off strutting, it was obvious the way he walked off. You could tell it was meant to be a joke.
But here's the fucking kicker: X-Pac was in blackface. As well as every member of D-Generation X in the 90s when they were making fun of this Nation of Domination, which was supposed to be like a kind of making fun of a black empowerment movement at the time. Like everyone was like, Assalamu alaikum shit.
Yeah.
And all members of DX were in blackface. Like fucking straight up blackface.
Yeah.
Like I can't...
Yeah, the whole shit like that is what makes this whole Hulk Hogan thing hypocritical as fuck.
Dude, Ron Simmons was the first black wrestler to ever win the World Heavyweight Championship. And that didn't happen until the early 90s. And then when Ron Simmons was in WWF, he didn't win the World Heavyweight Championship there at all. He was relegated to the tag team division. Okay? I can't remember the last time there was a WWE or a World Heavyweight Champion who was black. I'm not saying like it's a racist thing, but Booker T is a damn good wrestler. He was WCW champion 5 times, and I think he also won it once or twice in the WWE. There hasn't been, that many guys. Kofi Kingston. All right, he's a black wrestler who's fantastic now. If they just used him right, they make him more of a kids wrestler, and they make him go through stupid shit with this new faction called New Day that I don't fucking understand or get. I think they should just redone Nation Domination, got it over with, because that's what it looks like. They could have made him easily a championship contender, because he does like the high flying shit. He's very entertaining to watch. He's not that great on the mic, but neither is this other wrestler named Daniel Bryan.
Well, that's what the other guys are there for. If this guy can't fucking do that part of it, you got other people to step in.
You have heels that are supposed to talk fucking anyway.
Yeah.
Like, to me, a bad guy is the one that talks the most shit. The new guy comes in, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna kick your ass instead, or tries to be the peacemaker like John Cena does.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens would be a great fucking rival for Kofi Kingston if Kofi Kingston was a good guy, just because Kevin Owens can wrestle, and Kevin Owens is really good on the mic. But the WWE does not always go in the direction that it needs to.
Yeah.
It doesn't always make the right decisions. They're not a very smart entity when it comes to pleasing the ones that throw the most money at their product. Because they still think that fucking little kids and teeny boppers are going to be the ones that will make their parents buy the most things. You know how much wrestling shit my parents bought me when I was a kid? Nothing.
Not a LJN figure.
No,
or nothing.
I think I got a a WWE championship belt. And that was it.
Oh, the one that you showed me at the time?
And DVDs. Like, that's what my parents bought for me.
Yeah.
When I had my own money, I bought action figures, T-shirts.
Yeah.
I subscribed to the WWE network.
Yeah.
Because I'm in that 18 to 35-year-old demographic. I am the one that throws the most money at the product. Why aren't you pleasing me as well as the kids? Especially me. Like if they were to give like...
I guess it's image. I mean, honestly, they're trying to give it a good guy image. So we're doing this for the kids.
You have that with your PG rating. You can, dude. There are plenty of shows that are PG that are good.
Yeah,
like plenty of. There are some new cartoons, they're not necessarily kid oriented. Well, they're kid oriented, but still like an adult can sit down and watch them.
Yeah.
Because they have to with their little snot-nosed little brat that's sitting there in the middle of the floor not paying attention to this shit.
Yeah.
But if you change it to watch Jeopardy, they're going to throw a fucking hissy. So you have all of this, but you want to alienate. I just don't fucking get it. I'm tired of seeing John Cena. I'm glad he got his nose broke. And so he's out for a couple weeks so he doesn't have to be on television. Why are you going to make Undertaker lose? No one gives a shit about fucking Brock Lesnar. Fucking fuck him. I can probably go on like an entire...
Oh, I'm sure you could, dude.
Goddamn rant because they just don't know what to fucking do. And it all started with them making horrible business decisions back with Macho Man Randy Savage. They wanted to take Macho Man from doing a more of a wrestling role and put him into more of a commentating role.
Yeah.
Macho Man told him, he was like, I'm not done wrestling yet. He was like, I still want to wrestle.
Same time, though, him as a commentator is fucking hilarious.
It's hilarious how bad it is.
Exactly.
It like Rowdy could fucking be a good heel commentator. He was good color commentator, like what Lawler is.
Yeah, or Ventura. You remember when he was...
Ventura is a good color commentator.
Yeah.
Macho Man will not be a good color commentator.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see this guy in the fucking ring, right? He's got more skill than Hogan. He's got more skill than fucking 80-90% of the people in the card. He is a move innovator. He's had a bunch of big spots. He's a goddamn legend. And you want to take him out of the ring before he's ready to be done to put him in behind a fucking table?
Yeah.
No.
Well, can't
fucking
you?
No.
In a situation like that, I'd run it in like a 1-in-5 schedule.
Oh yeah.
For every 5 appearances, 1 is commentator.
Well, no,
the other 4 would be him working.
Yeah, I would have much rather seen that. I would have much just him doing the shit that he wanted to at all, because he remained wrestling with WCW up all until the very end. He didn't want to go back to the WWE. Yeah, because him and Vince McMahon had a huge falling out. Because when he left WWE, so did his sponsorship from Slim Jims,
which is some of the greatest commercial
television.
Which is
some of the greatest commercials. But this is what caused a giant rift, was the fucking Slim Jim money. Really? That's why he wasn't in the Hall of Fame until last year.
Over Slim Jim money.
Exactly.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah. A lot of people were like, well, it's because, his brother also wanted to be inducted in the Hall of Fame at the same time. No, Vince McMahon had, all up until his death and a little bit afterward, he still had a fucking grudge with him. Really? Yeah, he still had a fucking grudge with, and there for the longest time, Hulk Hogan with Vince did too. Because for years after Hulk Hogan got out of his contract with the WWE to go to WCW because he said he was tired of wrestling. He wanted to get more into acting. And so Vince McMahon did it as a favor to Hogan. Hogan, being a piece of shit. Now, Vince McMahon's also a piece of shit on a certain level. Yeah. Hogan, being the piece of shit that he is, went from WWE straight to WCW, brand new product, got paid out of the ass. Like 3 times more his salary, like guaranteed money, guaranteed Ted Turner money. Yeah. Okay, to work for WCW. Vince was pissed.
It's like that story with Ventura and McMahon. Have you heard that one?
I don't think
so. About the lawsuits. And
shit?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Ventura was lucky that he got into the WWE Hall of Fame back at WrestleMania 20.
Yeah, you ought to hear Ventura telling about that story, about how that he was like the only guy smart enough to fucking get shit in writing.
Yeah, yeah. All the other guys, they were just like, yeah, this is fun. I hope it lasts for a long time. Yeah, which that's what wrestling still is today. Which is fucked up. The whole thing about the independent contractor, when you have insurance and you can't work for another company, like while your contract is still in there, makes you an employee. It doesn't make you an independent contractor. Yeah. And that's what a whole bunch of like these guys that get in, because Punk said it best when he came up and explained it, that you work for WWE, you don't talk shit about WWE while you're working for them, because this is your dream. You're here because you want to be here, and you worked your ass off to get here, and you spend your entire time in the WWE, not trying to ruin your time in the WWE. Yeah. Daniel Bryan then goes on and talks about it even more, how there are guys that just sit in the back and hope that they don't get noticed, so they don't get called on and don't have to have a match, and just get their check for the week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why even bother?
Because they don't want to do bad and possibly be on television looking bad and losing their job. Yeah.
Fuck that. If you're on the bench, dude, your whole job is get the fuck off the bench and get into the game.
That's at least what you think with most athletics.
Yeah.
Unless, you get lucky you're a fourth-string quarterback or a fourth-string running back or a fourth-string lineman for a Super Bowl winning team and you still end up pulling $750,000.
Well, something I'm actually amazed. And I mean, yeah, there's been several that have gotten into it. The idea of wrestlers in movies.
Uh-huh.
Why in the fuck didn't they actually push these wrestlers into more films?
They do now.
Well, they do now.
Because they have WWE studios.
Yeah. Think about in the past. Okay, let's look back in the past. And I'm not talking about Hogan in a fucking tutu and shit like that. All right? I mean, there's a fucking thought. Something you'll never wash out of your brain.
No.
Or him swinging on the wrecking ball, too. That's another bad one.
The movie that comes into mind with Hulk Hogan and wrestling is No Holds Barred, which was his first movie that he had against the guy that played Debo in Friday.
Well, what I'm saying...
smell poopy! This is a grown man. Another grown man wrote that line.
And another grown man filmed it.
And another grown man held the microphone boom for that line to go into.
And directed him at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a guy that said, I need more emotion on that poop line, Hogan.
Put more emphasis on the poop.
Terry Bollea.
But what I'm saying, I think they missed a major thing. All right, let's go back in time a little bit. And you look, we was talking about Piper.
Yeah.
All right. He made one of the greatest goddamn movies ever fucking made. They Live is one of the best movies.
Oh, I thought you were about to say Wrestlers vs. Zombies. Oh, my bad.
I haven't seen that one yet.
I haven't either.
But, I mean, he made one of the best movies ever made.
Yeah.
And to this fucking day.
It's a very, one of those unintentional pop culture.
Yeah.
Injected movies, because anyone knows the obey sign and shit, when he's looking up at the television or the space alien on the newscast, people just know that.
Yeah.
If they don't know where it's from, it's oh yeah, I've seen that 1,000 times.
Yeah. But I mean, saying that's a movie that's so important, it has parallels to today with our
consumerism.
Yeah, the consumerist idea and all that shit.
Was it buy, consume, eat, die, or something like
Money
that?
had This Is Your God and all that shit on it.
Yeah.
If they had, in the early days, had used people like fucking Piper and put him in more fucking action movies, and
outside of Hell Comes to Frogtown,
which is awesome,
which is what D-E movie greatness.
God. But it had the Dance of the Three Snakes.
That was fun.
Oh my God, that's great.
The Dance of the Three Dilberts.
Yeah. Think about it. They could have turned him into a fucking action star, dude. He could. Oh
yeah, like they did with The Rock now.
Exactly, dude. People like Piper, he would have been in fucking movies like The Expendables.
Yeah,
where they're bringing back the old fucking action heroes. And
dude, that would have been great.
They really dropped the ball. They had a whole stable of talent that they could have drawn on.
Yeah, that would have actually made me go and watch an Expendables movie. With Stallone is in them. I don't give a fucking shit. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger was the newest one, and they had Bruce Willis and a couple other guys. Terry Crews.
I think Gibson played an enemy in the third one, wasn't it?
I'm not sure because I haven't paid any attention to it because they don't have any of them that I'm fucking interested in.
Yeah, I watched the first one in the theater, but it was because I literally got drugged to the theater.
But if they
I had a choice: Expendables or Salt.
I don't even remember fucking Salt.
Yeah, fuck all that. I didn't want to see either one, to be honest. But I really do think they missed the fucking ball. They could have turned a lot of these fucking guys into big fucking action stars.
Oh, yeah. Hacksaw Jim Duggan would have been a good one.
I mean, even the ones that really couldn't act, if you put them in the right role, they're appropriate.
Andre the Giant in
was it the
Princess Bride? Yeah.
Yes. Even though he couldn't act his way out of a paper bag.
He worked in that role.
Yeah, he was the perfect guy for that fucking role.
But if they would have made Roddy Piper that big of an action star and he ended up getting a role in the Expendables, it would have made those guys, it would have made the guys like me who don't really give a fucking shit about an action movie.
Yeah, pay attention.
They would be like, oh, well, fuck, Rowdy's in it. I might go watch it because, he's a fucking anti-hero.
Yeah, well, look at Piper's role in They Live.
Yeah.
Look what he played. Even his name. I'm trying to remember what they called him exactly, but
I don't remember either.
It was a generic. It's a generic name.
Yeah,
but he represents the average working man.
The everyman. Yeah.
Yeah, and holy fuck.
Which is funny because in wrestling he wasn't that at all.
Well, no, but I mean, think of him in that movie.
Yeah.
With the fucking flannel shirt, the way he appears. Yeah, he's just this average blue collar working guy.
Yeah, who just picked up a pair of sunglasses and.
Well, the idea of it, I think, you know what I think the whole thrust of that movie is? He's the average working man that suddenly realizes that he's getting fucked.
Yeah.
That one day he puts on the glasses that allows him to see what actually happens around him. And people can take it in 100 million directions, but he's just a working man that fucking woke up.
Yeah. And
the whole thrust of the movie is that he's trying to help first his buddies to wake them up. The black guy.
Yeah, which is like one of the greatest fight scenes in movies. Period. God,
damn, that movie is. Yeah, that fight scene is fucking badass.
I think it might have been mostly choreographed by Rowdy.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is a ton of fucking wrestling moves, and it's a long fight scene.
It's like 5.5 minutes. It's one of the longest
between
fight scenes.
Just two guys. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, by the end of the movie, though, look at what he dies for in the movie. He dies as the hero, trying to expose this secret to the whole world.
Yeah.
To blow the cover off of it. And it was the thrust that he was a hero that fought for the everyman and woke the world up.
Yeah.
He put the glasses on everybody's fucking eyes.
And it just makes me think of Soylent Green.
Oh God, yeah, another great fucking film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soylent Green is people. It's people. And even though
it's also great on toast.
Yeah. But if you know the end of that movie, which I think as soon as Soylent Green now, when you fucking see that name.
Well, there's Soylent now.
Oh yeah. But you see, or hear that line, or begin to watch the movie, you already know the end of it.
Yeah.
Fucking pop culture has spoiled the end of it, like Luke, I am your father.
Yeah, you'd have to be a very young child that's never been exposed to it at all.
Which then I would debate on whether or not I would show the fucking movie to him. But
I would. I think by the time a kid's fucking 9 or 10 year old,
it's
time for him to start waking the fuck up to what the world's about.
Even though it's been spoiled by pop culture, and the end of Soylent Green, because Soylent Green's fucking people.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
It doesn't stop the movie.
It does not stop the emotional impact of what is the end of that film, and which there's quite a few films that at the end of it is spoiled. You lose fucking everything.
Yeah,
it's like, well, fuck, I had all this build up, and now I already know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
but what's going to happen in the end of Soylent Green. Maybe it's good direction, maybe it's good writing, maybe it's great acting. Or maybe it's all of those things bundled up in one package.
Yeah.
That still will have a good impact today, like They Live.
Exactly. Well, they're talking about making a series of They Live. And in a way, I kind of like that idea. But at the same time, I don't know. I mean, I think back in the late 80s, early 90s, somewhere up through there, they had a sequel to War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
It was a TV show thing about that the whole fucking world had forgotten that it had been attacked. There was something that give amnesia to everybody. And I'm serious, that the whole world had amnesia. They did not remember the Martian attack. And the Martians are a few of them have hidden out. They keep themselves isolated from germs. And, it was one of them series this doesn't need to be fucking made.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that if they try to make a They Live series, they're just going to piss this great idea away.
Well,
sometimes a one shot is really all an idea needs.
Not only that, but there are very few things that make a good movie turn into a good TV show, and very few things that make a good TV show turn into a good movie.
Yeah. The first X-Files movie, a lot of people give that stuff shit. That was a decent flick.
Well, look at the original. I'm gonna say all up until The Search for Spock.
Yeah.
For Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
All good movies.
Mm-hmm. Well, Search for Spock had its. It was all right.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah,
Search for Spock was really the last.
Yeah, the whale. By the time it got to the whale movie,
it was Star Trek 5.
Yeah.
Or was it 4? I don't remember which.
Yeah, Search was the third, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you end up that turns out to be a good series, only because they're like, yeah, fuck, give us more. And like, I like the first Star Trek film, even though people are like, it's the most boring. And I'm like,
bullshit.
Well, this is the closest to Gene Roddenberry's idea that he got to fucking make. So yeah. But
well, yeah, I don't know. I think it's a bad habit that Hollywood's got today. They have to make sequels for every fucking thing.
Let's remake it. Let's remake it.
Well, I mean,
like Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah.
The Dukes of Hazzard movie.
Yeah, what the fuck?
These are things that shouldn't be.
Well,
one of these things is not like the other. One of these things is dead.
Well, the Dukes movie could have been done right. And you know how you do a good... now I'm serious. Now, hang on. Hold on. The Dukes movie could have been a decent show, like a family-oriented show, okay? As a newer movie. All you'd had to do is you give it to the fans. You let the actual fans of the show write the fucking story.
Now...
They never do that shit, dude. They never do that shit.
Because... How many fan-made films have you seen that were good? Yeah. See, I'm not going to sit here and it's like, oh, it should be given to the fans because they know the material the most. That's also kind of the fucking problem.
Okay, I will admit, like the later Starship Trooper films, that were done by fans, wow, they're fucking bad. Yeah, they're fucking horrid.
Yeah. Like there's a middle series. Thanks, Dad, for this. You didn't show him this, but it was a series that he found on his own that was recreating and telling like new stories with the original Star Trek storyline.
I showed him, I think, one, but there was a couple of more. There's a couple of more doing them.
No, this was before this. It was bad. Yeah, everything about it was fucking bad.
But there's some that are fucking great, dude.
It is like finding the corn nugget in a giant pile of shit covered with a giant stack of hay. Yeah. Covered with a bunch of concrete in the middle of World Trade Center wreckage that has been thrown into a blender and then thrown into a Marianas Trench.
Gotcha.
Good fan shit is hard to find.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not going to say at all, like, oh yeah, turn it over to the fans. No, fucking no, we're not. Well, fuck that.
What I'm saying, what I'm getting at, is you take certain concepts, like look at the Dukes movie. Look at that fucking remake. Okay? That movie was obviously...
Because it was Hollywood shovelware shill shit.
It was. But what I'm saying, that movie was obviously made by people who were not fans of the film, or this TV series.
Well, no, it was a bunch of just...
tongue-in-cheek, we're going to make fun of this shit.
Yeah, it's the same way with the Starsky and Hutch movie. It's like they made fucking Honey Bear or whatever into a goddamn stoner with Snoop Dogg. Yeah, you fucking it's just Hollywood fucking shovel shit. Yeah, like I want to see the movie Pixels. I want to see the movie Pixels. I want to have Adam Sandler make me laugh like he did in Funny People. Yeah, where he was pretty much playing what he does now. Yeah, he's an actual miserable person.
Yeah. Give me one more Little Nicky, please.
Not even that, dude. Funny People, it wasn't that great of a film, but I think it was kind of Adam Sandler's way of like, look, guys, I'm fucking sorry. These are the roles I'm being put in. I'm making money from this. What do you expect me to do?
Not make shit. That's what I expect him to do.
Well, if I had the opportunity to be paid millions of dollars to make shit, what do you expect that I'm going to do?
You'd probably make some shitty movies.
Make some shitty movie and get paid millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And if I had the opportunity to let my friends in, I'm making millions of dollars to make shit.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
Come on, guys. We're going to fucking redo Buck Rogers.
Hey, let's have Grown-Ups 2. Millions of dollars to make shit.
Yeah.
So
I'll be
and
there.
people watch it. So who do you fucking blame there? Do you blame the people that make it, or do you blame the consumer? If you go out and you buy something that you know isn't that high of quality, but you're just like, fucking, I need something quick, like a laugh from a movie.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
True.
Like.
Well, I don't know. It all comes back to what I was talking about sequels. You know, I'm tired of sequels being churned out. I'm tired of them not appreciating the original source material. Like, a good example is this fucking new Star Trek movies. A lot of people, oh, it's fucking great. I fucking hate them goddamn movies.
The first one I liked. The first one
as
was
a straight action flick.
Well, as a straight action flick, as well as like it being, we've probably explained this at least 2 or 3 times, but to me, I don't affiliate it at all with like the original universe, like except for Leonard Nimoy having his smaller role in it. He's more of a catalyst to destroy the big bad thing. But outside of that, you know, I did not like watching the second one.
The whole Khan thing and Spock acting like an action hero.
Because it threw out the fucking character.
Yeah.
Spock was able to remain somewhat of his character the first one. Kirk was put in the more badass role, and they kind of flipped it around for the second one.
Yeah.
Which was really confusing.
Yeah.
Because Spock is, you know, the only time that you see him fight is once on the Klingon planet, and then every time he Vulcan neck pinches someone. Yeah.
Well, the whole second movie was nothing but Star Trek: The Callback.
Yeah. It was, Khan was a famous character. Let's put him in this. That's what it was. Like, Well,
I'm really expecting that this next movie is going to have fucking whales in it or something. I mean, I'm terrified.
They're making a third one, I don't know.
You know they're making a third one. You know they are.
I thought Jar Jar Abrams was too busy working on Star Trek.
Or Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah.
Fuck. Oh my. I'm gonna totally withhold all judgment on the new Star Wars.
Oh yeah, me too. I
see it.
I have even less judgments about it than what you do right now, because every time you watch a new piece of like shit from it,
trailers.
A trailer behind the scenes, like you're like, I'm fucking angry, and I'm like, fucking why? They haven't shown anything from it. Well, I'm just mad because they're ruining everything. I'm like, you haven't even fucking seen the movie yet, and you're already like fucking giving it a -20 on Rotten Tomatoes. Come the fuck on, man.
I couldn't help it. Like, I'm watching the trailers, and you noticed me. I was wanting to like, did you see this?
That's why.
Did you see that?
Dude, that's why I was like, all right, stop. Like I was like, stop pausing it and let me fucking watch it. And then like I watched about like, I think the first 2 minutes of it, and I was like, all right, fuck, it's a behind the scenes trailer. I don't fucking care. Yeah. Like, well, I had to watch the Suicide Squad trailer alone myself without hearing like, goddamn fuck shit. God. See, this is the type. No, hold on a second.
Yeah.
This is the type of relationship that Gleek and I have, where it is Gleek will automatically hate something.
I can't help it.
He can't help it. He tries. He was like, I want to like things, but I just end up hating them.
I've actually said that.
Yeah. So I end up, I'm like, he'll tell me about something, because I pay attention to new things, like a squirrel pays attention to someone planting a rock plant or fucking something.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen with me.
Yeah.
I will pay attention to the most trivial, like, meaningless shit. I'm like, ooh, fucking this went on sale. It's 3% off now.
Yeah.
Or I'll sit there and I'll stare at my bank account all day and be like, I don't remember. Oh, yeah, that was for that Gatorade that I bought there at that place.
Yeah.
That's the type of shit that runs through my head all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Click, on the other hand. Okay, all right, I'm going to watch this. News article, story. All right, new trailer for this. And just released Comic-Con. Okay, I'm going to click here. Oh, it's for God. That is no shit his reaction to every trailer for anything that he has ever liked at one time ever.
It's because they shit on stuff. You know that.
It's like the Mad Max video game.
Oh, shut the hell up.
It's like no, hold on a second.
Oh.
He loved every single. It's like, oh yeah, fucking Lunchbox is probably gonna end up getting that. We're gonna fucking play it. We're gonna have a good time being Max, building cars, racing shit. Mm-hmm. I think one trailer came out and it was around the same time as the movie, and you're like, fuck goddamn shit, fuck shit, goddamn that's not fuck shit. That's what it turns out to be.
That's because I noticed this shit in it. I start trying to piece it together with what I know about the series. It's like, God damn it, this doesn't fit in. This is wrong.
It's like my give a fuck button like breaks.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I just want to play for the gameplay and the story and see what happens.
All right. Get back to what we was talking about. Suicide Squad.
Oh,
okay. Now hang on. I heard a fucking theory on why the Joker appears like he does.
Okay.
Now, you remember all the way back to the Killing Joke and all that shit, right?
Of course. You mean Alan Moore, the Stanley Kubrick of comic books?
Pretty much.
You know Alan Moore?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. All right, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Pretty much the Stanley Kubrick. Superman, Whatever Happened to the World Tomorrow, or The Man of Tomorrow, The Killing Joke, V for Vendetta, Watchmen, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Do I need to go even further?
Yeah, I got you.
Stanley Kubrick of comic books. All right.
Now, the idea, the concept here. What if the Joker isn't actually the Joker? It's Second Robin. I can't remember the kid's name. All right. Do you remember the way that, the Joker kills him and all that shit? Like beats him to death and all?
Yeah.
Well, what if this is not the actual Joker? The Joker's fucking dead.
And he kind of took up the reins?
He took up the reins as the fucking new Joker. And that explains the tattoos. That explains the difference in the way he acts. All that shit.
That just makes me like the idea.
Really?
Yeah.
That made me angry because I was like, this is soap opera horse shit.
Your former ally takes up the reins of your enemy. That is some Greek theater shit.
That's what I'm saying. It's soap opera. It's melodrama. But at the same time, I liked it for the fact, finally, it explains why I'm seeing this bullshit version of him. I know.
I mean, I hate the idea of Batman only having little nubs on the top of his head and asking Superman if he menstruates. That's the problem I have. Because that shit's just silly.
Well,
it's just fucking silly. I like the Harley Quinn character that I see in that. I don't know who the fuck Will Smith is trying to be in it.
Hancock.
He's Hancock in the Suicide Squad.
They have got to, dude.
They have Deathstroke.
They have to throw in at least one joke based on Hancock. They have to.
I like the shady fucking Arkham Asylum people.
Mm-hmm.
I like all of these things. The former Robin is now the Joker because the Joker is dead, and it kind of reminds me of I don't know how to fucking put it, the Green Goblin and the Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
That's what it makes me think of.
Mm-hmm.
Using another comic book reference to reference another fucking comic book, only the finest of nerddom here on the Generation Gap.
Yeah.
But it just...
We should have renamed this thing Half Remembered Tales.
But it just makes me like that concept a little bit more because, To me, the Joker thing, at least in the movies, the different ways that it's been done, it's been done to death.
It has. It has.
And so it's something fresh, it's
Mm-hmm.
something new, it's something different, it's something that no one has ever seen before. If it is a former Robin character.
Mm-hmm.
If they were gonna do that though, I wish they would have made that Batman in that universe a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
Like the series that I know they did an animated one here a while back where it was Bruce Wayne as an older man, you know, gray in hair. I think he'd probably be in his early 60s, still fighting crime.
Mm-hmm.
That makes interesting. That puts a fucking Clint Eastwood spin on the Dark Knight, which something needs to be fucking done. That's what made Old Man Logan good.
Yeah.
The Wolverine comic where Wolverine hadn't popped his claws in 50 years.
Yeah.
It's things that are different. It's things that haven't been done before. It's No Country for Old Men kind of get the fuck off my lawn shit. That's the type of action movies that I want to see now because it's more relatable.
Yeah, I understand, but like when I read this concept that somebody come up with, you know, I thought, okay, I can see why they would use this. I can understand why they would use that concept to bring back the Joker. But at the same time, what bugged me, what really kind of irritated me, is because it is comic book shit. When I used to collect comics, I used to get pissed off of that. When a villain is dead and he is gone, quit pulling these fucking storylines out your ass to bring this motherfucker back.
Who, the Joker?
Anybody, any villain that gets killed. I mean, look at Marvel the time with the whole Doom thing, and it turns out it's a fucking kid in a Doom robot suit. I'm not fucking playing. There was some storyline years ago about that shit. And I understand you can't let certain villains go because they sell the comics.
Yeah.
But
there are so many alternate worlds and universes in Marvel.
Oh, God.
Just like there is in DC, so.
Yeah.
Except for Crisis on Infinite Worlds.
Mm-hmm. Which I'd like. There is some Marvel stuff I'd love to see. I really want to see a Secret Wars movie. But I want the original Secret Wars.
Just like everyone wants to see the Civil War movie that's coming out. Civil War's fucking long.
Yeah.
It's 900 comics.
Yeah.
Over like all of it.
You know another one that I want to see? They're talking about doing Apocalypse, okay? Which, okay, I can understand. I can understand that. I want to see the Evolutionary War. That was from the late 80s, early 90s, I think. It's when I used to collect comics.
You know what I want to see?
I want to see the High Evolutionary. I want to see that fucking story told.
You know what I want to see?
I
want them to put the 90s television series of the X-Men on Netflix. So I can...
You know, you can download that stuff. Not that we support illegal downloading.
That's what I just want to see that again on Netflix. That was the shit that I really liked.
Yeah. I'd like to go back and watch some of the early 80s Spider-Man shit. Iceman and Firestorm?
A character that didn't exist in the comics at the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Which, even as a kid, I had a little trouble understanding that. I was like,
Iceman was fucking lame.
Well, yeah, why is Iceman with Spider-Man? This don't make no fucking sense.
Iceman's fucking lame. The only time Quicksilver has ever been cool was in the latest X-Men movie.
Mm-hmm.
They can't call Scarlet Witch. I'm tired of the Iron Samurai already. He was only in one film.
Yeah, I got tired of him in the comics.
Dude, I didn't even like the Deadpool story where he went to Japan.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck.
Yeah.
Like they showed him fighting a sumo wrestler, and I was bored while reading this comic. It was like they put it at the very end of Deadpool 900.
Mm-hmm.
And they had like Little Wade in there too, which was just fucking stupid. Like you can do Deadpool several different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Miniature midget Deadpool. It's funny sometimes.
Yeah.
Just like a dead Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
That's the head of a dead Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
So it talks still. It's missing its body, and it's sarcastic as shit.
Okay.
You have Lady Deadpool, regular Deadpool, Dog Pool, Kid Pool,
Waiting Pool,
Lazy River Pool, Pool Q,
Push and Pull,
Push and Pool, Pool and Play. And there's all kinds of different fucking shit, but there.
Well, I just think that they could go back to some of them old stories and pull some good stuff out. I mean, another one I've always wanted to see. You're never going to see it in a Spider-Man movie. I want to see him battle a Spider Slayer. Dude, I had those comics years ago. I fucking enjoyed them.
What about Kraven the Hunter?
Yeah, why not? Why not Kraven the Hunter?
Like, that would be a good, instead of a Spider Slayer, if they don't want to go back to that far, why don't they have Kraven the Hunter versus Spider-Man?
Yeah.
So you end up getting like a bounty hunter shit in this.
Or why not even go back further and do a Punisher? You know, like the Punisher first appearance.
Yeah.
He appeared...
Trying to kill Spider-Man.
Trying to kill Spider-Man.
Why don't you do... Well, I know it's Fox and... Fox and Disney now. Like the Hulk's the Wolverine's first appearance was in a Hulk comic. Why don't we have in the Civil War movie a whole fight scene in between Wolverine and the Hulk?
That would be awesome.
That would be fucking great.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Wolverine versus Hulk. Come the fuck on. Who doesn't want to see that? When are we going to
I don't like Marvel movies. A lot of these newer ones, I don't like them. But I would probably go to watch that.
When are we going to get Planet Hulk? I haven't seen any of the...
you'll never see Planet Hulk.
Yeah. I haven't seen any of the Daredevil series yet.
Which I've heard they're bringing the Punisher to Daredevil.
I need to watch that on Netflix.
It's supposed to be a springboard, though. They're wanting to bring him into Daredevil.
And then launch him in his own series.
Yeah.
Which would work being a crime thing.
Yeah. But I could see where that could get old. It could get old if not done right.
Yeah. Well, it would have to be a limited run like how they did not Deadpool, but Punisher Max. Whereas they spent about 5 to 6 comics of him taking out each crime syndicate, which was, and then they near the beginning of the last third of them, they did like a 10 comic run of him in Vietnam, and then they finished it up with finally. I think he died. Spoilers at the end of Deadpool Max. I mean, not Deadpool Max, but Punisher Max. Which, if anything, Punisher is going to end. That's how it should fucking end. Fucking Frank Castle dying.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Frank is not one of those people that can just disappear into the sunset like a la Punisher kills the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
Well, fuck me.
Or the one shot, I've mentioned it before, probably more than once. I want to see it. It'd make a great one shot film. I want to see the whole thing about the Punisher after the Atomic War.
Yeah.
Whenever it gets safe enough for him to travel out of where he's at. He hides out in the bottom of Riker's prison. Yeah. And he after the war is over, like a year later, he goes to hunt the fucking politicians who started the war. God damn, that would be the greatest fucking apocalyptic comic movie of all time.
Well,
you imagine the Punisher driving across an apocalyptic wasteland, going into the bunkers and hunting these fucking assholes.
Yeah, that just makes me think of the Punisher kills the Marvel Universe. Because, like, everyone that's mutated gets this type of... their mutations go into, like, a more of a monstrous effect, which causes, like, Spider-Man to become, like, cannibalistic.
Yeah.
Same way with fucking everyone, and I think Spider-Man ends up running New York. And it's, like, grown over. Fucking society's been pushed back to its limits. So the Punisher stays on Manhattan Island, hunting and killing off former mutated superheroes, and then he sends off a priest and a boy, which he saved, to the mainland, which has been cleaned of infected mutants, to stay on that island and kill the rest of them instead of just showing him killing the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
Way to fucking drop the ball.
Yeah.
Way to fucking drop the ball. Like, why couldn't you have made this last tribe and it'd be the hardest to get, and eventually the fucking people are like, fuck it, have New York.
Yeah.
And then Punisher fucking cleans it up because that's a city.
Yeah.
The fuck are you doing?
Exactly.
What the fuck are
you could have had a great 6-issue run just for that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah, well. I mean, there's a lot of them stories, man. I want to see Silver Surfer. I want to see a good Silver Surfer movie. So fucking badly. I want to see Galactus actually appear as fucking Galactus.
Do a Galactus origin story. Don't show him actually as Galactus until the very end.
Mm-hmm.
Show him coming up as the teller of his people that there is this cosmic crunch happening.
Mm-hmm.
Show him the struggle like they had on Krypton when fucking Superman's dad warned them all years in advance that they could have saved themselves.
Yeah.
And then show the crunch, and then show the explosion, and show Bam Galactus at the end.
Yeah.
There you fucking go. He starts at the center of the universe. He has to work himself out.
Mm-hmm.
Show his evolution. Or you don't even have to show his evolution from eating planets that are uninhabited to eating planets that are inhabited.
Mm-hmm.
Because that could just be filled in as like a side note in a Silver Surfer movie.
Dude, I don't know. They could make so many good ones. But no, I mean, we get regurgitated fucking Avengers and shit.
And then we get a Fantastic Four movie where everyone's in their 20s. And Dr. Doom is a computer hacker.
And Johnny Storm is a black guy for no fucking reason.
Adoption.
Oh.
Okay.
I saw a good documentary the other day. I for the life of me, I cannot remember the exact name of this fucking documentary. But it's the story about the Superman movie that was never made. God,
the one with Nicolas Cage in it?
Yes. Holy shit, dude. That documentary, I don't know why I can't remember the fucking name of it right now. The death of the Superman movie, something, I can't remember. It's a good documentary. But, dude, that would have been the fucking most abysmal goddamn movie you've ever seen in your life. Alright? Superman comes to Earth and he has like this magic teddy bear fucking robot thing.
What?
I'm not fucking playing. Like his companion, okay? Instead of being sent to Earth with the crystal, you remember that he was able to construct the Fortress of Solitude that allowed him to speak with the memory of his father?
Yeah.
All that shit. Instead of that, no, you get the fucking robot. And
this was going to be the one that was directed by Kevin Smith, wasn't
it? No, it was supposed to be directed. Smith wrote one of the screenplays for it.
So
yeah, it was going to be directed by
hold on a second,
fucking Mr. The fucking dude that did Edward Scissorhands. You know the guy I'm talking about.
Yeah, it'll take me a minute to remember his name. Tim Burton.
Yeah, Tim Burton.
The guy that did the first Batman movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or the first good Batman movies,
yeah,
I should say.
This was, I want to say 2 or 3 years after Batman had come out that they were wanting to do this film.
Okay.
But the concept of Superman would not fly in this fucking movie with a cape and all that shit.
Well, he wasn't supposed to fly in the original comics either. He was just supposed to jump, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was kind of retconned in that he developed his powers as he,
got used to our son or something, yeah.
But anyway, it starts off with him fighting, I can't remember the name, Death something. The one that supposedly killed him. You remember that whole
Doomsday?
Doomsday, yes, sir. The movie's supposed to start with like him fighting Doomsday, almost getting completely fucking killed.
Yeah, he was like dead for 32 days.
Yeah, and then that the robot surrounds him and like creates a fucking life support system for him. And that Superman would appear almost like in this fucking robot suit thing because it's the robot around him keeping him alive and doing the flying for him. Yeah. Yeah. It was just fucking horrible. There was some good parts, though. The parts that really got my attention, Brainiac. I mean, that was going to be the villain, all right? Which I'd love to see Brainiac appear.
hold on a second. Before we go any further, next week, before we start recording, remind me to tell, for our listeners who don't necessarily know the Superman Doomsday line of comics, and remind me to explain that.
Okay.
To go through that storyline and how fucking stupid it is. All right.
Yeah.
Continue.
All right. Well, all right. Back to what I said. Brainiac was supposed to be the main villain. Luthor was going to be in it, and the two of them somehow merge. Yeah. Lex Luthor and Brainiac are going to merge, and that Brainiac was supposed to be played by what was his name? The guy that the fucking actor that was in Pulp Fiction, Mr. I Got the Watch in My Ass.
Christopher Walken.
Yeah. Brainiac was supposed to be played by like fucking Christopher Walken.
Soups. Your father left you this crystal,
and I stuck it in my ass,
and he stuck it in his ass.
Could you imagine how fucking horrid some of that would have been?
I'm glad I don't have to.
I mean,
I'm glad it'll probably be never made. Probably be made, whatever, my brain's starting to fry.
Well, Burton says at the very end that he still, at the end of this fucking documentary, that he still wants to make this fucking movie. And I was like...
Is Johnny Depp going to be in it since it's a Tim Burton film?
Probably.
Fuck me. I hope that Johnny Depp plays the role of Lois Lane then. If he has to be in every single Tim Burton movie, well, fuck it.
Oh, God.
Johnny Depp in drag as Lois Lane.
Yeah.
With a beard still.
Mm-hmm.
And his rabies-infested Yorkie that he got from Australia.
And the whole movie's about how he's got to go back in time to save his mama from getting burned up in that house. Remember when he's in Gilbert Grape?
Yeah. And then Lois Lane gets infected with the radiation.
And gets the space herpes.
And that causes her to grow scissors out of her hands.
That's right.
And to do
and drink all the rum,
lawn, furniture, art, shit, and turn into a skeleton and sing.
Yeah. And then they go kidnap Santa Claus.
Ho ho ho, bitch.
Oh no.
Oh. Holy Lord. As always, I have been Lunchbox.
I'm Gleek.
And y'all have a good one. You can follow the Generation Gap podcast at PicklestickPod on Twitter, or shoot us an email at picklestickproductions@gmail.com.